Hi guys, welcome back to T-Square Technical Talk YouTube channel. This is our second episode, Set Up Your Raspberry Pi in our Coding with Raspberry Pi 101 course. Today we will be showing you Raspberry Pi OS download on microSD, first boot or your first time opening Raspberry Pi on screen. Before we begin, we would really appreciate it if you guys give us a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can always get notified when we upload another video. This is the first step, Raspberry Pi OS download. Before we begin, you will need some necessities. You will need a power supply, at least 3 amps for Raspberry Pi 4, a micro CD card and USB reader, a keyboard and mouse, a computer screen. Some optional items are a Raspberry Pi 4 case, headphones or speakers, and lastly an Ethernet cable. Once you have gathered the required items, let's begin. Go to raspberrypi.org/downloads from your Windows or Mac computer, depending on which laptop you have. You will click on either Raspberry Pi Imager for Windows, Raspberry Pi Imager for Mac OS, and lastly Mac Raspberry Pi Imager for Ubuntu. Raspberry Pi Imager software is the easiest and one-step way to install Raspberry Pi OS and to your CD and to your SD card to be ready to use with your Raspberry Pi. Now we showed you how to install it. It's a very easy and simple process. Next, we will go to raspberrypi.org/downloads/raspberrypios to download the Raspberry Pi OS in zip format. For those who don't know what zip files are, they are a compressed version of your original files and folders to one file .zip that has much smaller size than your original files or folders. Here we will download the latest Raspberry Pi OS as of today, which was released on May 27th, 2020. When you finish with the download, you will find the zip file size is 2.46 gigabytes after extraction, which means returning the files from zipping status to original case, and OS files will be 6.85 gigabytes. Step number 2. Raspberry Pi OS on microSD. Now I will be showing you how to insert your microSD card into your USB card reader. First you open it, and with the face that has the most words and the most color on it, you will insert it from the side that has a bridge on it. Push it all the way to the end, and now it's inserted. Now it's ready to be put inside our computer. Now to choose OS, scroll all the way to the bottom and choose Use Custom. Go to the download folder path where you downloaded and extracted your OS file. You will find one file called that ends with an IMG, which means image. Open it. Now choose SD card, and there should be one. Click on that and click write. It will send you a warning saying that it will delete everything inside the microflash. Press yes. Now we have to wait till the writing finishes. Do not interrupt your computer while this is happening, such as clicking cancel write or taking out your USB card reader. Also, the writing process will take some time. Please be patient. Here we are. Our writing has been finished, and this is the message that you guys should receive once it's done. Now you are able to close your application, take out your flash card, take out your USB card reader, and now we will demonstrate to you how to connect it to your Raspberry Pi. This is step number 3, the Raspberry Pi OS first boot. In this one, we will be showing you how to run the Raspberry Pi for the first time. First, you will take out your SD card from the USB card reader. Now we will take the Raspberry Pi 4 compatible clear case with a fan. As you can see, there's a fan here, but we will not be using the top part right now. We will only be using the bottom one, and we will show you why later. As you can see, I've opened it. Now you take the Raspberry Pi, and in the bottom part you will find 3 rows. You will put the USB connectors like this. This is because they will separate the USB connectors. And now push down till you hear a click. Now it is inside. Now take your flash memory, and over here in the Raspberry Pi you will find a small hole. Take your flash card and hold it like this, with the front face up. Then push it down just as we did with the other one, with the other USB card reader, all the way. Now it is set. Now we will connect it to the power and show you the screen. We first connected the SD card to it. Next we will connect the mouse and keyboard inside the 2 USB ports. Next, we will connect the HDMI to connect it to the screen. Next, we will connect the Ethernet. Keep in mind that the Raspberry Pi does have Wi-Fi connection capabilities. After that, if you want to hear the audio, we can connect the audio so you can hear it as a headphone or whatever device you like. Next, we will connect it to the power. So we will turn the Raspberry Pi on. If you turn the Raspberry Pi on successfully, there should be 2 LED lights turning on. The red one will be for the indication that it is on, and the green one will be an indication that it will exchange data. This is a picture of a Raspberry Pi that is on. As you can see, there is no other cable connected besides the power cable. Even if you don't connect anything at all, the operating system will start all the way until the login screen. This will be our setup after the connection, and let's go to the next step. As you can see, guys, we are just about to connect the Raspberry Pi to the screen. This is the first start. We just have to wait till it finishes and goes to the login screen. Now press next. Here you get to choose your country, language, and time. Well, for us, we will be choosing English and use keyboard. Guys, for the first time, it will ask you for a new password. Please remember this password, because if you forget it, you will never be able to log in ever again. And the default username is pi, P-I small. Once you are done, press next. In here it will ask you about if you would like to have these black borders around the screen or not. It will be searching for the available wireless network, but we will be skipping this process from now. It will ask you for update. But for now we will press skip because we don't have the internet. And lastly, press restart. Now your Raspberry Pi is ready to work. With that, we have concluded our second Raspberry Pi video. Set up your Raspberry Pi. In this video, we learned about how to set up your Raspberry Pi OS, connecting your Raspberry Pi, and booting it for the first time. In the next episode, we will give you a tour on Raspberry Pi. And we will go through all the apps and we will teach you how to install the apps. Before we close this video, I would like to remind you guys to leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and please turn on the notification bell so you can get notified whenever we make a new video.